mutants, which are quite different from the original strand.
Talking Point, Friday 9:30 p.m. on CNA.
It's muted Vesak Day celebrations here in Singapore once again. Buddhist temples and associations scaled down events for the second year running amid heightened safe management measures. The largest Buddhist monastery in Singapore, Kong Meng San Po Kak Si Monastery, says prayers and rituals were conducted behind closed doors and streamed live on social media platforms. The monastery had to cancel original plans, such as a vegetarian food fair, but it hopes devotees would learn more through the online events.
The good thing is they will learn the proper way to do the ritual, and on top of that they will also more appreciative of how the ritual is conducted and the meaning behind the ritual itself. So this allows our devotees to apply what they have learned on the new challenges that we are facing right now in this pandemic.
The Singapore Buddhist Mission also held its first mass online meditation session to commemorate the Holy Day. More than 800 devotees gathered virtually for the program. It included talks by temple leaders and a concert featuring musicians here and abroad.
This year we are definitely more experienced. One of the benefits of doing our event online is that we can reach up to more than 800 people to join our Vesak Day celebrations. And this is something that if you only have it on a physical premise, it's something that is very hard for us to do.
2 men are under investigation for a China official impersonation scam. It involved a staged kidnap of a Chinese undergraduate in Singapore. A 33-year-old Singaporean has been arrested. A 61-year-old is assisting in investigations. But the police suspect that the duo might be victims of the scam themselves. Yang Lei with this report.
About a month ago, a 21-year-old student was contacted by people claiming to be China police officers. They said there was a police warrant against him for money laundering offences in the country.
他们又假装很好心的帮我想办法之类的，让我切断与外界的联系。主要他们用 WhatsApp 和我联系，然后不停的和我一点一点的透露信息，然后一点点的交流，不断的取得我的信任。
Acting on instructions 10 days ago, the victim checked into a hotel here along Upper Serangoon Road. A 33-year-old man gave the victim $500 and a cell phone. All this time, the victim was alone in the room. He was then told to pose in front of a video call while gagged and blindfolded. He was told this was for an X-ray, when in fact it was supposed to look like a kidnap. With the footage, the scammers added a message and sent the video to his parents in China on Thursday morning.
小子别怕啊，不会伤害你的。听好了，只要你父母他把钱拿出来还给我们，剩下的你就不用担心，好不好？
The ransom asked was for 1.2 million Singapore dollars. By this time, the victim, again acting on instructions, moved to a 61-year-old man's HDB flat in Clementi. There, he said he watched TV, ordered food, and played cards with the homeowner's wife. The victim's parents had already told the Singapore police they couldn't contact their son 4 days prior to receiving the scammer's message. And when they did receive it, they got in touch with the authorities here again. The victim was found within 7 hours. In fact, he was woken up from his nap by the police.
警察刚刚找到我的时候，我甚至有一点不太相信警方，然后警方就是跟我说我安全了，然后带我到警察局做了个笔录，然后就什么事也没有。
Fortunately, his parents did not pay the ransom. Police say the 2 men involved are unrelated. They may have been told that they were implicated in the crime themselves and needed to help out in this case. The man who passed the money to the victim earlier in the hotel allegedly received $1,000 to help stage the student's disappearance. The other man in the Clementi flat may have been led to believe that he was helping to house an important witness for a supposed police probe. The Singapore police has this message for the public.
The China Police, Interpol, and other overseas law enforcement agencies have no jurisdiction or powers to conduct operations in Singapore. They also have no powers to ask members of the public to help them with any form of investigation, without the approval of the Singapore government.
The police add that people should ignore calls from those who claim they're overseas officials.
2 Singaporeans have been arrested for suspected drug activities. The 45-year-old man and 31-year-old woman were arrested yesterday. More than $940,000 worth of illicit drugs were seized. 2 children of the woman were found playing outside the residential unit prior to the raid. The 11-year-old boy and 10-year-old girl have been put in the safe custody of a next of kin. Over 10 kilograms of drugs were seized, including heroin, ice, cannabis and ecstasy tablets. Cash amounting to $28,000 was also recovered. The Central Narcotics Bureau says that the drug haul is enough to feed about 2,700 heroin abusers, 1,450 ice abusers and 355 cannabis abusers for a week. Investigations are ongoing. Singapore's national football team is training in Dubai ahead of 3 World Cup qualifiers in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's the first time that those taking part in a team sport will be competing overseas since this pandemic started. The usual centralised training in Singapore was scrapped in favour of an overseas one. 3 brothers are also in the squad, following in the footsteps of another famous family. Liang Lei with this report.
18-year-old Yulhan Fandi is a regular starter this season for his club Young Lions. Having featured for Singapore's under-16s, he now has a chance to shine brighter after being called up to the national squad.
It means the world to me and my family, obviously, because when I was young, my dream was always to play for the national team. And here I am, hopefully going to get a chance to play. So I'm really happy. I'm going to give my 100%.
Also in the squad are his 2 elder brothers, Irfan and Ihsan Fandi. The last time 3 brothers were called up to the national team at the same time was a Quas about half a century ago. Singapore currently sits 3rd in Group D of the AFC World Cup qualifiers. They face Palestine, Uzbekistan and Saudi Arabia over 9 days, all to be played in Riyadh, chosen as the centralised venue for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. The national team's last training session in Singapore was in March. The squad is now in Dubai for centralised training. They will also face Afghanistan in a training match this Saturday before heading off to the Saudi capital. This outing in the midst of the pandemic means it's packed with precaution. Players and staff will be swabbed before flights and games, even though most of them have been vaccinated. The itinerary is kept to hotel, training ground and game day stadium.
I have to change my plan because the players' the it's not consistent. I intend to tell them we just play. We don't need think any other things. We have to play with confidence, like same as before COVID.
The last time Singapore played an international game was in November 2019, where they beat Yemen 2-1, with Ihsan among the goal scorers.
That's Singapore Tonight. Headlines anytime at cna.asia, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter as well. Good night.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.